Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I took a little break from working on the car. The last time I touched this car was a few days ago, and I was looking at the website for our local track. We have a few test and tunes remaining for the rest of this year, and I've decided that I'm gonna try to shoot for that 10-second goal before the year ends. If you guys have seen the track video of the CRX, I did a best of 11.4 that day at 110 miles an hour, and the car has a lot more to improve overall. The fastest trap speed I did that day was 124, and that was on street tires. I did a few little fixes here and there in the last video, but this week what I want to do is I want to swap out the axles because they are torn up in the back. I just found out that this side axle is messed up because it clicks horribly, and I want to adjust the ride height because I didn't get to do it in the last video after loosening up the preload. I want to adjust the ride height to clear 24-inch tires. Now, after messing with the rear preload, the car dropped about, I would say, an inch, and it's almost matched to the front now, and I don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave the preload the same, but I'm gonna adjust the body of the coilover to raise the rear up, and I'm also gonna bring the front up as well too. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna head to the storage. I'm gonna grab my Bogarts. My Bogart has 24.5s. I don't have another set of 24.5s, but I'm gonna clear the ride height for 24.5s. And when we go to the track this weekend for test and tune, I'm gonna use all 4 of my 23s. So I'm gonna go ahead and head to the storage now and grab my slicks. We are here in the storage, and sometimes I forget how much crap I have in here. My goodness. What I'm going to be needing is these 24s right here, and when I go to the track this weekend, I'm going to rock the 23s until I can score another pair of 24s. But the only thing that I'm worried about running a 13x8 in the rear is hitting my trailing arm. I had to grind it down a lot to run a 15-inch rim, so being that the 13 is a lot smaller, I'm a little worried that it's gonna hit. Now, when I was at the track, I was running the VMS 15x8s in the rear and the 13s in the front, and they worked out perfectly fine. But that's why I'm taking these home to test fit in the rear and also get my ride height adjusted for it. When time comes to run 24s, everything was just kind of go into place, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and load these up into the car real quick, and I'm gonna see if I can try to get the fitting on the back of the block for the breather port off my old B20 VTEC that came out of the CRX. But I didn't bring any tools, so. Well, joke's on me. That block fitting is not even on there. But the plug is gone, so I don't remember if I ever took it off. Need one of this, just ran out, and box of brake cleaner. Just used my last one last week. Probably just gonna air these guys up to about 15 pounds. I think I ran less in the CRX at the track. I did like, maybe I did 15 in the rear, and I didn't even gauge the front. But so the Bogarts require a special like shank style lug nuts. They don't use the regular ones, and this is what helps center it on the knuckle or trailing arm, and it requires a washer as well too. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slap the rears on and adjust the rear first before I do the front. And I don't mind this car looking like it's a stock height, but I feel like the back is going to go up a lot due to wanting to run the 24.5s, and it's such a tall tire that I don't think this gap is going to, clear. What's worse than a jack rolling on the concrete? Don't worry, I'll wait. These lug nuts are pretty big. 22 seems to fit. I think it may be a 21 because it's kind of loose. But these definitely need to be torqued down because aluminum rim, aluminum washer, and you don't want to go messing that up. I'm just lightly bolting it on because obviously I'm not driving the car. And the thing that's making me happy right now is that it's not rubbing on anything. And that was my main concern, because when I threw, I believe, the 9x9s on the wagon, I had to trim down the camber arm tabs a little bit right here to clear. And so far, it's looking really good. It's rotating and not rubbing. So obviously I'm not trying to have it that much of a gap, but right now when I drop it, it's probably going to sit right over the tire. Got the passenger side on, and also not hitting. You can see how far away the tire and rim combo is from that camber tab up there, and that's a plus. So not sure if I'm gonna be running the bow guards for the rear. Obviously I got to get another pair, but I know that if I have to, if the other set does hit, at least my rear bow guards fit. So also notice that this is also hitting the exhaust again, but that's because the car went lower. So because we're adjusting the height today by turning this collar down, the car is going to go up. Hopefully that doesn't dig a hole anymore. It looks good, but I'm not trying to have it that low. I'm like 300 pounds. Ow. Yeah, that's definitely gonna touch. So now I kind of know how much more I gotta go up, and I think it may just even be how it was before the preload. But I mean, if I go any higher or max out the cup on the bottom of the shock, I'm probably cool with that as well. I think after all of this, I'll have to go back to the alignment shop. One for this guy, one on this side. What in the world? Hey, excuse me. What is you doing? There are so much components in this general area, and I think the easiest way for me to adjust the bottom of the coil over here is to take off the lower control arm. So I'm gonna leave the shock in place, obviously. And sorry, Lucy, I'm gonna be making some noise right now. And that right there is the easiest way for me to do this. So now I'm gonna measure, get some measurements down so that way I do the same on the other side. It's currently, oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8, 2 5/8, and I'm probably gonna bring it down about, I'll maybe max this out. So now that I've broken this loose, let's see how much more we actually have to adjust down on this coilover. Oh shit. Oh, that's not good. So that's about even to the other side. It's like 2 7/8, and I may do a little bit more turn just because I'm the driver on this side, and that leaves me with about 2.5 turn with this going into these threads. So I think it'll be okay, but I don't think I'm gonna get enough height still, because it only went from the original spot to here about 1/4 of an inch, and that's not much. I'm gonna have to figure something out with modifying this part right here so we can get more height out of the suspension. I don't know what it is. I measured from the hat to the middle collar to the bottom collar, and this side is a lot lower than the other side. Huh. So with this side, me sitting on it and bouncing on it, I have a good like maybe like 1/4 inch before it touches the tire. So this is with me in the car. Right? That's fine. But on this side, it actually touches, and that's no bueno. Now, because I want the rear to be higher than the front, we have to go up a lot more, but we're maxed out, and we haven't even touched the front yet. I know the 24 is definitely gonna rub on the fender, right? And I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the cup off the coilover, and I'm gonna cut the tabs off that the like the ears is welded onto the cup, and I'm gonna extend the cup like maybe an inch or an inch and a half further down, and then weld the ears back on, so that way we can get more height out of it. This car is never going to be slammed for me to worry about how much more I'm extending on the cup to go slammed. And if anything, the car will go higher, just because the tires that I'm looking at for the street are 25-inch tall tires. So if anything, I need more clearance later down the road. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find some materials real quick, jack the car back up, take both cups off, and modify them. I've been sitting here tinkering with this, and I may have to skip this part today, because I was going through my like wall of tubing. I got like this one, these guys, that tall one right there, and they're all either too small or too big of a diameter from this guy. And I was going to extend the legs, 1, 2, 3, 4. I was going to drill it out, and then I kind of put it like side by side like this, and realizing how tall that fork is going to be. And I'm afraid that it may bend in between, because it's this long straight of nothing in between, you know what I mean? But I was going to put like, I don't know how you say it, like a brace in the middle to keep it from flexing, but I don't want to do that. And the reason why I wanted to do it this way was because if it didn't work out, I can always just cut it back off right there, and you know, we'll have this section again. If I did the cup version, it'd be safer, because this would be short as is, and I don't see why that wouldn't work, but I don't have any tubing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out my axles, because in the last video you guys saw, the axle boots are completely torn, and it's making a giant mess under the car. So if you guys also watched the preparation video for the all-wheel drive for the wagon, these axles are the same, and they have brand new boots on them, so they are ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna put one of the wheels back on, and then I'm gonna jack the car up sideways so I can tilt the fluid in the diff one way, do one side axle, drop the trailing arm, do the axle swap, and then put it back on, do the same on the other side, so that way we don't lose too much fluid. I do have a little bit left. It took less than 1 quart right here. Actually, oh, that's a brand new bottle. But that's for the wagon, so I'm gonna do that, try to salvage most of the fluids from leaking, and swap the axles up. So I just finished both my axles, and this was a lot easier than I thought. You can see here, completely torn, and right there, completely torn. These two sides are the diff side. So earlier I was saying that I wanted to wait until tomorrow to do my suspension mod, and I just came across this post right here on Instagram, and you can see how long those forks are. And you can see right there, they welded support on those forks, so that it gives it strength because of how long they are. So this guy Ant right here sells parts off race cars. He buys and parts them out, and I'm gonna assume that this came off a race car and doesn't seem like it has any signs of, like, you know, failure or anything like that. So instead of waiting until tomorrow, I think I'm gonna cut that plate and make those leg extensions like I was gonna do earlier. I think this is gonna work out. All I gotta do is plate it either right here, or I'm gonna put a rod in the middle, so that way if I was to ever reverse this process, I don't have to cut deep in here. I can just cut this this joint, and then this whole top section will come off, and then we'll have our regular function form bottom cup, just how it was. So back here in the garage, I went to the P.O. box, got this package right here, went to Harbor Freight, got a few miscellaneous things I may need in the future, and some food. So I'm gonna open this real quick before we start working on the car again. So I don't know where this came from. All I know is that it's from Amazon. I'm also taking note that this is really heavy. So right here it says, "Hey Dana, love the content and your love for Hondas. I also wrench and found this bit to crack those crank pulleys. I used this once and fell in love with it. Enjoy. Damon from RI." And I believe that's Rhode Island. It's a 19mm harmonic balancer socket. Ooh, this is a really heavy duty socket. Holy crap. Look at this thing. It looks like a freaking 1-inch, except the inside is a 19mm. It says right here in very small print that it is designed with more than 3 times the standard socket mass to direct more energy to removing the bolt. Can be used with Honda engines that use a 19mm hex pulley, dampener bolt, or other 19mm application. Heat treated, impact quality, alloy steel, and is used with a 1/2-inch drive. And this is gonna put in some work. Okay guys, so obviously the car is back on the floor, and you guys can see the wheel gap in the back is a lot higher than where we left off. So I got the rear cup fork modified yesterday, and I painted it red to kind of match the rest of the body, and got it reinstalled, adjusted it accordingly in the middle of the night, and pretty much threw the wheels back on because I wasn't trying to leave the slicks on the car. But I am going to throw it back on for you guys in just a second here to show you guys the clearance that we got. I did bounce around on it. We have clearance between the fender well and the tire. And when I get new tires for the rear, I'm going to try to stick with an 8-inch, but M&H only offers 8.5. Now MT, Mickey Thompson, offers a 24.5 by 8, 13, and 15, but we'll see when we get around to, you know, purchasing new tires later down the road. Ooh, look at that, boys. 3-finger gap. A lot of clearance. These guys, god damn it. Anyways, you know, with my full weight, you guys can already see I've tried it. My full weight on the driver's side, it doesn't go down that much. Does not even come close to the top of the tire with me bouncing on it. So hopefully the G-force and the squat is not like a heavier squat, you know what I mean? But I think that's gonna work out for me. So I think the back is pretty much done. I'm gonna go ahead and swap the wheels back, and I'm gonna take the 24s, stick them in the front, and adjust it accordingly. So the front is about 1 finger, and the rear is 3. And I think what I'm gonna do with the front is do it 2, so that way 1, it'll clear that, and 2, it's a little raked, so that way when the car's squat, it's not like this, you know what I mean? Flying to the moon and shit. So yeah, swap-a-roo. Before I slap my wheels back on, look at this sketchy ass shit I did yesterday. Yo, this is one of the most ghettoest shit I've ever done, but you know what? It serves a purpose and it's doing its job. But like I said, if I ever wanted to change this, I can just cut it right there on the weld and get that stock fork length back, or I can just buy new cups because they aren't that expensive. But for now, this is gonna work. Take 1. No bueno. That's maybe barely 1 finger. Damn, after 3 tries, I got the ride height where I want it to be with the slicks on. So the back, if you guys remember, we had 3 inches between the well and the tire, and now the front has a snug 2. This is definitely enough clearance between the tire and the fender. Look at that. It doesn't move much with me sitting inside the car, so that's good. And on this side, same thing. It's more tighter over here, but I'm kind of like compensating my weight being on the driver's side, and it should kind of level out. So that's gonna be perfectly fine. All right, guys. Hopefully the G7X can do some justice with the light hanging out right there. But you guys can see how the CRX would look with 24s all around, and I think it looks pretty I wouldn't say aggressive. I think it looks hella funny. It's like a real size go-kart. But you guys can see why I want the 8s for the rear instead of the 8.5s. But if I get a different rim setup with a different offset, maybe I can tuck it in more, because the tire isn't touching the suspension. So that may be a little give, but I won't know until I pick up another set of wheels and tires. But that's pretty much how it's gonna look when I do slap 24.5s all around eventually. But that is gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. And again, I can't do anything else until I get the axle. But just remember, progress is better than no progress. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for the test and tune video, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to take it easy with recording these next couple of days, because right now it is currently October 30th. I kind of want to take a break, but you know, obviously still wrench in between, because I want to make sure you guys are all caught up and up to date with me. From now until TNT, I'm gonna plan everything for the wagon. I haven't forgot about the truck, so y'all stay tuned for that. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.